think it was E4. E4. Yeah, as far as I remember, E4.
Ma'am, on behalf of the President of the United States, the United States Air Force, and the grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved ones' honorable and faithful service.
At this time, we'll have our committal led by Master Sergeant Warren, United States Air Force.
Hello everyone, family, friends. We all gathered here together to pay respect to Theodore Brown, who we called affectionately either Dad or Grandpa Ted. He was a very, very, very good man. For many of us in our family, especially some of the males, he was the only father figure that we had that was there all the time from start to finish. So we loved him very, very much. As you know, he was stationed in England, and this whole family and all the people that are here, it all started with him and Grandma Myrna. So they met in England and had my mom first, and then Uncle Flippy after that in England. So after that they went to Kansas, so where he finished his military time. He was a he was a security air policeman back then. He was in from 1951 to 1961 as an air policeman. And then after that he switched over and he started doing painting for the planes, and had a couple different odd jobs. And then he got out the military and went back home to Ohio, where he was a retail salesman. Did that for a few years, and then he moved out to California, where we're all here now. And the majority of us have been in California ever since, where he worked for E-Z-GO Go-Karts, and he worked there up till retirement. I think when he worked at E-Z-GO, he would do a lot of events with E-Z-GO, and one of the funniest things we were talking about the other day was how the Rams used to be out here back then, and he used to go out and you know, when they put the helmet on the go-kart in front of the games and it rides around with the cheerleaders and brings the team in, he used to do that. And so when he used to do that, there were many times he would take us to the games with him, so we got to see the Rams. You know, Grandpa really loved camping. Camping was his thing, so he always at some time or another had an RV. And so the majority of our time as family. We weren't always balling. We didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of resources. A lot of times we all lived together, but we went camping, and we used to love camping. So I started camping with my daughter and everyone else, camping and outdoors. He loved the outdoors. So he used to get out there and make fires and cook and barbecue, and Grandma used to be a Girl Scout leader, so she'd throw in hers, and that was one of our number one things that we would do as a family. And also, we are a very tight-knit family, extremely tight-knit. A lot of families don't have that, and I've been in the Air Force for 21 years, and you see a bunch of different families, and the way we grew up I loved it. Very tight family. Almost every weekend that I can remember, we were together. Cousins, aunts, at all times. Grandpa was always there. He was the patriarch of the family, and he would always be sitting there doing his thing off to the side or whatever. Another funny thing about Grandpa is what Iris was talking about. He had his grandpa chair. Grandpa had his grandpa chair at his house. You always knew not to sit in it. If when you got a little older, you got brave enough, you'd sit in it, and then when you'd see him, you'd jump up and take off. And he had his little candies and sweets to the side. He loved that, and he was just a really, really good man. He was from the old generation, so he didn't show his feelings that much. But when he did, you were like, oh, wow, he really means it. So when he said it, he really meant it. I remember the first time he told me he loved me, it scared me, because he never said stuff like that. So he was a very, 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 very good man. And lastly, he would have loved this because he was very, very patriotic man. I followed in his footsteps growing up because he was always talking about his service. He was always talking about the flag. He was always talking about how he felt proud when he put on his VFW stuff, and he'd walk around in his hat and thank you for your service. He loved that. He really enjoyed his time in the military, and so I would always pattern myself, and I always wanted to go in the military from our family members that were in the military, but Grandpa was the one that started it all. He became a policeman in the military because of the same thing, and he would tell me all his stories about the things he did in the Air Force, and he loved the country, he loved being a veteran, and he loved his time in the military. And many times as kids, we'd also go to all the parades and all the Veterans Parade, the Silverado Day Parade in Orange County, a bunch of different times that we would go out there to show our appreciation as a military family. And we get that from him. So let's see what else. I mean, that's really about it.
He made sure his children went to church.
Yes. He made sure his children went to church. We used to go to Melody Land back in the day, and that was always an event. So we'd all dress up, and I liked going because you got free donuts. But he made sure we went to church. We also went to what was the name of that church? I can't recall. It was one in LA. I remember going there as a kid.
Crenshaw Christian
Crenshaw.
Center, where he was baptized.
He always did the prayer at all our Thanksgiving dinners and get-togethers. He would lead us all in prayer. So Grandpa Ted was just a very, very, very good man. Hard-working man. He worked. He did his time. He made sure the food was on the table. He made sure the lights were always on. He made sure we had what we needed. And he instilled that in all his daughters, and their work ethic and how they are with their kids. It all stems from Grandpa Ted and Grandma Myrna. So we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful childhood. We had a wonderful adulthood. We've had wonderful times. We are tight and together because of him and because of Grandma Myrna. And we were very blessed with God leading us and them two coming up and teaching us way. We really cannot complain. We cannot. It could have been so much worse, but because of him and because of the Lord and Grandma Myrna and all my aunts, that's just the way we had a wonderful life. And so he's passed on, and he's up in heaven, and he's back with his son. So we just want to say thank you for everyone coming, and it was a wonderful service. And lead everybody. I mean, I'll have a